This is boring, but your libido will skyrocket fast. You see, libido is linked to one chemical that 99% of men ignore. And once you fix this, your libido, work ethic, and focus will skyrocket to levels you haven't felt since a teenager. You will feel more energy, less brain fog, and be able to operate at peak performance. My name is Daryl, and as the founder of Bloodwork Blueprint and a competitive bodybuilder since 2012, I spent nearly 2 decades optimizing my health through evidence-based practices that leverage all the data that I can get from blood work and drawing from my experience by helping over 50 men transform their performance through data-driven protocols. I've identified a critical factor that most men overlook. What I'm about to share isn't complicated, but it will transform your hormonal health faster than anything you've tried before. You see, your libido is controlled by a hormonal system that most people completely misunderstand. And once you optimize the system, you'll experience energy levels and drive like you haven't felt since you were a teenager. Now, for context, I spent the last 15 years optimizing my health, and I meticulously put together a system I call the Libido flywheel. This isn't another just eat clean and exercise program. This is a scientifically validated framework that I've used to help hundreds of men reclaim their peak performance, both in and outside of the bedroom. And if you're watching this, you're about to learn why most common advice about hormones and libido is completely wrong. Let me break down exactly how this works. Your body operates on 4 critical hormones that work together like a finely tuned engine. Dopamine, your brain's primary driver of motivation and desire. Serotonin, the key regulator of mood and satisfaction. Testosterone, the foundation of masculine vitality. And cortisol, your body's stress response mechanism. When these hormones are perfectly balanced, everything changes. Your energy levels surge, your mental clarity sharpens, and your libido returns to peak levels. But when they're disrupted, which happens to most men without them even realizing it, your entire system crashes. Here's what makes this different. You can optimize each of these hormones through 4 specific lifestyle factors that I've identified through years of research. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to do it, why it works, and how it applies to you, starting with the foundational element, sleep. Sleep is the absolute base of your hormonal health. Through years of researching and working with clients, I've seen one pattern emerge consistently. When sleep suffers, everything suffers. Here's what the research shows, and this even shocked me. Just 1 week of poor sleep decimates your testosterone levels by 10 to 15%. I've seen guys in my circle doing everything right. Perfect diet, solid training program, top tier supplements, but they're only sleeping 5 hours a night. They're literally watching their gains disappear without even realizing it. The evidence is overwhelming. After looking at over 2,000 men, researchers discovered that 43% of men with sleep issues showed clear signs of erectile dysfunction. That's 14% higher than men with healthy sleep patterns. Even more concerning, nearly 40% of American men are getting less than 7 hours of sleep, steadily destroying their hormonal health. I hear this all the time. But Daryl, I can function fine on 6 hours of sleep. But the truth is, you just become acclimated to functioning at a lower state of mental and physical clarity. The key to sleep is not just about duration, it's about efficiency. Elite athletes maintaining 91% sleep efficiency preserve their peak performance levels. And when their sleep efficiency dropped by just 9%, their performance fell off a cliff. Specifically with REM sleep. It's your body's primary testosterone production facility. During REM sleep, 90% of your nocturnal erections occur. The equation is simple, but crucial. Reduced REM sleep leads to fewer morning erections, which directly signals declining testosterone levels and libido. Through analyzing hundreds of blood panels and sleep studies, I've identified the optimal range. 7 to 8 hours is your performance sweet spot. This isn't just theory. It's backed by extensive research, showing this range maximizes both fertility and hormonal health. Another study from 2023 revealed something fascinating about sleep quality. Your pre-bed nutrition absolutely matters. Here's what I tell my clients to avoid. High glycemic carbs and refined sugars, late evening meals, alcohol, yes, that nightcap or a relaxing glass of wine, and caffeine or stimulants after 2 p.m. Instead, focus on high-quality protein sources rich in tryptophan, strategic meal timing, I'll show you exactly when to eat, targeted supplementation with specific antioxidants and natural melatonin precursors. One of the most powerful tools in my program is sleep tracking. When I work with clients, I insist on using devices like Whoop or Oura Ring. Fitness is a language, and objective data is how we translate it. These tools give us precise measurements of heart rate variability, sleep architecture, and recovery metrics. But assuming you have none of the fancy tech right now, here's one simple test to see if there's something wrong. If you're not experiencing morning wood, your body is sending you a clear warning signal about your sleep quality and hormonal health. This is an early warning sign, which often happens due to lack of sleep or chronic stress. Stress is one of the insights we get from blood work, and chronic stress creates a devastating domino effect on your entire hormonal system. The interesting thing is, stress is tied to sleep. Just 6 nights of poor sleep cause caused cortisol levels to skyrocket. But here's the truly alarming part. It also slowed cortisol clearance by 6 times. In simple terms, your stress hormone stayed elevated through the entire day after being increased. The impact doesn't stop there. Through my personal experience and research, I've observed how elevated cortisol completely disrupts your hunger hormones. You'll feel hungrier, less satisfied after meals, and this is crucial. Your cravings for carb-heavy foods increase by 24%. This creates a vicious cycle that further compromises your hormonal health by creating insulin swings. Especially for high-achieving men, stress is a killer. Recent research from 2023 confirms what I've observed in countless blood panels. Work stress attacks your libido through 3 distinct pathways: direct disruption of your endocrine system, severe energy depletion, and hormonal imbalances from chronic stress exposure. But outside of work-related stress, there's another killer of your hormone that even most personal trainers don't understand. While going to the gym consistently is great, the research is clear. Excessive training spikes cortisol by 30%, while simultaneously crushing testosterone by 36%. Even more concerning, this hormonal disruption can take up to 3 months to normalize. Let me put this in perspective. In the study, overtraining was defined as doubling your normal training volume for just 2 weeks. I've seen countless men in my program push way beyond this, wondering why their libido and energy have crashed. The good news is, there are simple ways you can avoid this. Mindfulness training. Recent studies show that just a 4-day structured mindfulness program can reduce cortisol levels by 20%. I've incorporated this into my clients' protocols with remarkable results. 2. Strategic recovery. Clinical data shows that targeted massage therapy not only helps you fall asleep 15 to 20 minutes faster, but improves overall sleep efficiency by 10%. While this doesn't directly lower testosterone, it does optimize your sleep quality, a crucial factor in hormonal regulation. What I've learned from working with hundreds of high-performing men is this: managing stress isn't just about feeling better. It's about protecting your hormonal system. Every training program I design now includes specific stress management protocols because I've seen how crucial this is for maintaining optimal hormonal health. Dopamine and serotonin. Now, separate from stress, I want to go into the motivation hormone and the critical difference between dopamine and serotonin. There are some clear patterns in how these neurotransmitters directly impact sexual performance. Here's what the research shows. Enhanced dopamine activity significantly increases sexual motivation and drive. Conversely, elevated serotonin levels are consistently associated with decreased libido and sexual performance. This isn't theory, it's biochemistry. Let me explain something crucial that most health gurus miss. Serotonin levels naturally spike after male ejaculation. This is why you experience that period of reduced arousal afterward. It's your body's built-in regulatory system at work. Now, here's where modern life creates serious problems for your hormonal health. There's beneficial dopamine from achievement, exercise, and meaningful connection, and destructive dopamine from digital overstimulation. When I analyze a client's lifestyle, one of the first things I look for is digital overstimulation. Here's the science. When you're scrolling through social media, you're triggering artificial dopamine spikes that desensitize your receptors. And after just 60 minutes of this behavior, your motivation centers become significantly blunted, leading to that drained, exhausted feeling most men experience but don't understand. This becomes particularly problematic before bed. When I review sleep data from clients, I can immediately spot digital overstimulation patterns. That pre-bed scroll session triggers dopamine release, increasing mental energy precisely when you need to be down-regulating for sleep. Along with that, REM sleep, your crucial testosterone production phase, requires dopamine to be at its lowest levels. When you're overstimulated before bed, your brain requires significantly more time to downregulate dopamine, directly compromising your REM sleep quality and duration. Serotonin, on the other hand, follows an opposite pattern. As you prepare for sleep, serotonin levels naturally rise, creating that calm, relaxed state essential for quality sleep. This is why some sleep supplements contain 5-HTP. It's a precursor that helps increase serotonin production. But timing is everything. While elevated serotonin is beneficial for sleep preparation, you absolutely don't want high serotonin levels before intimate encounters or before high performance situations. In those contexts, you need dopamine dominance for energy engagement and arousal. One tip I recommend to my clients is to incorporate 2 specific herbs, maca and tribulus. They show significant effects on increasing sexual desire compared to other tested compounds. Finding a way to leverage these is a huge lever, but the key is understanding not just what these compounds do, but exactly when and how to use them within your daily rhythms. Speaking of daily rhythms, testosterone is one of the most thrown around terms while being one of the most misunderstood. While testosterone is certainly linked to male sexual health, it's not the complete picture that most testosterone optimization programs would have you believe. What I've discovered through both literature and practical experience is this: testosterone primarily drives attraction-seeking behavior, not baseline desire itself. The research reveals that testosterone's effects on behavior become most pronounced when there's an opportunity to interact with someone you find attractive. Testosterone is more about active activating the mechanism for finding a partner rather than increasing your intrinsic libido. This explains why some men with relatively modest testosterone levels maintain strong libido, while others with high levels may experience limited desire. That said, testosterone remains a huge component of the libido flywheel. Now, there are a few tools that help with testosterone regulation. First, the minerals that form the foundation of any protocol I develop: zinc and magnesium. Multiple clinical studies have demonstrated their effectiveness in supporting healthy testosterone production. These aren't exotic compounds. They're fundamental nutrients most men are deficient in without even realizing it. Second is ashwagandha, which has consistently demonstrated testosterone increase of 14 to 17% in rigorous clinical trials. What makes it particularly valuable is its dual role. It supports testosterone while simultaneously managing stress. Perhaps most impressive is Tongat Ali, which research shows can improve testosterone by up to 37%, while simultaneously lowering cortisol by 17%. This dual action effect makes it particularly valuable within the complete hormonal system. And finally, fenugreek has demonstrated testosterone increases ranging from 12 to 28% in multiple clinical trials. What's particularly noteworthy about fenugreek is its ability to specifically support free testosterone, the biologically active form that directly impacts your physiological function. What I've observed in my experience is that while these compounds can be powerful, they must be used holistically together. Optimizing testosterone in isolation without addressing sleep quality, stress management, and hormonal balance brings limited benefits. Diet. Along with sleep and hormones, diet is one of the pillars of health. What you're fueled by is going to affect how you perform. There are specific nutritional patterns that directly impact your entire libido flywheel. Here's something remarkable from the research. A comprehensive 2018 study published in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition revealed that men following a Mediterranean diet experienced 37% improvement in erectile function over just 2 years. Compare that to the control group's small 7% improvement, and you start to understand why your diet choices matter so much. Through my experience in numerous research articles that go in depth on Mediterranean diet, I've confirmed the optimal macronutrient ratio for hormonal health that falls in these specific ranges: 45% from quality carbohydrates, 15% from lean proteins, and 35 to 45% from healthy fats. This isn't arbitrary. It's the precise balance that supports optimal testosterone production while reducing inflammatory markers. The Mediterranean diet approach centers around specific food groups: wild-caught fish, pasteurized raised poultry, organic eggs, quality dairy, complemented by plant-based proteins like legumes and nuts. The emphasis on omega-3 rich fats, complex carbohydrates from whole grains, antioxidant-packed fruits, monounsaturated fat sources like nuts, and polyphenol-rich olive oil creates a powerful anti-inflammatory effect. So what makes this dietary pattern so effective? The research shows it improves 3 critical factors: vascular function, enhancing blood flow; hormonal balance, supporting testosterone production; and systemic inflammation reduction, combating erectile dysfunction. But here's what most nutritional programs completely miss: timing matters just as much as food choices. A fascinating study analyzed over 124,000 participants found that consuming meals within 1 hour of bedtime significantly compromised sleep quality, directly impacting your hormones for a week. Through my work with high-performing clients and backed by research studies, I've identified the optimal feeding window. Your final meal should occur between 4 to 6 hours before sleeping. 4 hours will get you the 80% optimization, while 6 hours appears to provide maximum benefit. Along with eating late, the traditional Western diet is a testosterone killer. Processed meats, refined carbohydrates, added sugars, and trans fats wreck your hormonal health. And they do this through 3 mechanisms: chronic inflammation, testosterone suppression, and vascular dysfunction. These all lead to erectile issues. These aren't just unhealthy choices, they're direct libido killers. For overweight men, my approach prioritizes strategic weight loss through a calorie-controlled, nutrient-dense diet. This serves 3 purposes: reducing inflammation, improving vascular function, and preventing testosterone aromatization, conversion to estrogen. Interestingly, my research with lean clients shows something counterintuitive. Low-fat diets consistently compromise both libido and testosterone levels compared to higher-fat nutritional approaches. This explains why many healthy diets leave men feeling hormonally depleted despite their discipline. What I've learned from working with hundreds of men is this: dietary optimization isn't just about physical appearance. It's about creating the precise biochemical environment for your hormones to thrive. When implemented correctly, nutritional changes create some of the most dramatic improvements in hormonal health, but it's different for everyone, which explains why so many men struggle to get it right. Exercise. The last key point and one of the most powerful levers you can pull for hormonal optimization. One that simultaneously improves sleep quality, reduces stress, naturally enhances dopamine production, and directly boost testosterone. I'm talking about exercise, but not the random workouts most men follow. Through years of analyzing hormonal data and performance metrics, I've identified specific training modalities that directly impact your libido flywheel. In other words, not all workouts are equal. Structured strength training and strategic high-intensity interval training consistently show superior effects on testosterone production compared to traditional steady-state cardio. Studies showed that testosterone increased by 37%, while cortisol levels simultaneously decreased by 12% after just 8 weeks of following a high-intensity training and heavy resistance training. In just 8 weeks of following a high-intensity training and heavy resistance program. This is dual action, boosting testosterone while reducing stress hormones. This creates the optimal hormonal environment for libido enhancement. Even more surprising is what the research shows about grip strength. Multiple studies have demonstrated that this simple metric, how strong you can squeeze, directly correlates with both vascular health and sexual performance. This isn't coincidental. It reflects overall neuromuscular integrity and hormonal status. For men who are just beginning their optimization journey, I have encouraging news. A 2023 study documented a 71% reduction in erectile dysfunction symptoms in men who implemented just a simple home-based walking program, 30 minutes, 3 to 5 times weekly, and in only 30 days. This demonstrates how responsive your sexual health is, even to modest physical activity. The research clearly shows the interconnection between overall health and sexual function. In the same study, men with metabolic conditions like hypertension, diabetes, metabolic syndrome, or elevated BMI showed significantly higher rates of erectile dysfunction. What I've learned through working with hundreds of men is this: the right exercise protocol doesn't just improve your physical appearance. It sets up positive hormonal changes that directly enhance the libido and performance. When implemented correctly, a strategic training program becomes one of the most powerful tools in optimizing your entire hormonal system. Now, I shared a lot, but what I want to emphasize here is something crucial. The libido flywheel isn't about quick fixes or magic pills. After years of studying hormonal optimization and working with hundreds of men, I've confirmed this is about creating a sustainable system that builds momentum over time. Here's how the flywheel effect works in practice. Quality sleep fundamentally transforms your neurotransmitter balance, optimizing dopamine sensitivity while creating the proper serotonin rhythm. This isn't just about feeling better. It creates a neurochemical environment that drives motivation and desire. The improved hormonal state provides the mental and physical energy required for strength training. When you're hormonally optimized, your workouts become more efficient and recovery accelerates. When you're more hormonally optimized, your workouts become more effective and recovery accelerates. The right exercise protocol then creates a powerful downstream effect, enhancing testosterone production while simultaneously lowering cortisol. This dual action further improves your hormonal advantage. With optimized hormones, maintaining proper nutrition becomes significantly easier. The cravings and willpower battles that plague most men diminish substantially when your hormonal system is balanced. And finally, this improved nutritional state supports an even deeper, more restorative sleep, completing the flywheel and creating an upward spiral of hormonal optimization. What makes this system so powerful is that improvements in any single area creates positive effects across your entire hormonal system. The key is understanding how these elements work together, not as isolated factors, but as an integrated system. When implemented correctly, the libido flywheel doesn't just enhance sexual performance. It transforms your energy, focus, and overall vitality in ways most men never thought possible. This allows you to perform at your highest level, look your best, and feel your best. And if that sounds appealing to you, I want to offer you a free consultation. To learn exactly how to implement these strategies. I'll show you step by step how to optimize every aspect of this system and take your performance to the next level. Click the link below to find out more.